Hello, coaches. Testing, testing. Happy May 1st, coaches. Happy Wednesday. Happy May 1st. Come on in. Got a juicy topic for you today. Thank you to one of our Facebook group members who requested this topic. We are going to be talking about how to build a coaching client list starting from zero. Right? So this is something that I feel like a lot of coaches kind of struggle with. They're thinking about it. They know at some point they have to start building a list, whatever building a list means, of prospects. And they have no idea how to get started when you're building from zero, right? Which is very, very normal. So great topic request. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So as you're coming in, drop into the comments so I can see who's with me. Tell me where you're watching from. I say that because we're getting a lot of new Facebook group members. So welcome to all our new Facebook group members. And Randy, if you're here today helping us out, if you could, and maybe you already have, Randy, make sure you've let everybody new into the Facebook group this morning so they can join us for the live. So welcome to all our new Facebook group members, and welcome to all our Facebook group members who have been here for a while. I would love to hear out of the people who are joining us. Anna Busha. Yeah, this one is for you, Anna. Thank you for requesting this topic. So drop into the comments as you're coming in today. What's going on, Gina? Drop into the comments as you're coming in today. Who here for today's Facebook Live is also going to be attending the upcoming workshop? So we're going to be doing a week-long free workshop. It's totally new. This is totally new content. The topic of the upcoming free week-long workshop is the 3-step client acquisition system. So it is a system. It's not throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something works. I'm going to be teaching you the 3-step client acquisition. This is a workshop, and it's starting on May 13th. So I know that some coaches are here in the Facebook group because they will be attending that workshop on May 13th. So let me know in the comments if you will be attending that workshop May 13th. And if you are not sure, or you haven't heard about it yet, or you're curious to learn more, also drop that into the comments. We're happy to. Alex is making that workshop. Awesome, Alex. Love it, love it. So if you want the link to register for the workshop so that you get the email with the Zoom link and all the goodies, the workbook, if you want that link to register, let us know as well, and we'll drop it into the comments. April will be attending. Love it. And guys, make sure Heather is sending some of you guys a DM. It looks like Heather Santina is sending you a DM. Make sure that you guys are checking your DMs and checking even your junk inbox as well, because Heather is here really as the guidance coach of this group, the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group, to hook you up, to make sure you have all the customized free training you need. We have a vault of over 100 free trainings, and Heather is well versed in what's in that vault. So she will customize this experience for you. So let's get going here. And let's see, I do want to pull up on my mobile device. Hot tip for those of you going live on Facebook Live. Sometimes I don't see all the comments on my computer. Sometimes I've got to go to my mobile device to make sure I can see everybody's comments. So that's why if you see me looking down, I'm just trying to make sure that I can see everybody's comments here. All right, so welcome. Hey, Charlotte, one of our Academy Superstar members. Charlotte's with us today. What's going on, Santina? Thank you for joining us. April, Alex, welcome, Santina. Welcome, Gina. Again, as you guys are coming in here, we're asking who will also be attending our upcoming 3-step client acquisition system workshop. So I'm just curious of who is here today, who's also attending that workshop. All right, so let's get going here on today's topic, how to build a coaching client list starting from zero. My name is Betty Kempa. I say this because some of you I'm meeting for the first time, which is very exciting. Business coach for coaches, member of Forbes Coaches Council. IPEC graduate. I know there's different certifications. Let us know in the comments too. I'm always curious if you were certified, and some of you are in the process of getting certified. Some of you haven't done it yet. It doesn't matter where you're at in that journey. But out of curiosity, drop into the comments, where were you certified? And I'm always curious too to see if there are any IPECians, which is where I went to get certified as well. So drop into the comments, where were you certified? Just, I'm curious, I'm nosy like that. So what else do I want to tell you about myself? Member of the Forbes Coaches Council, IPEC graduate. I was ranked one of the top coaches in Denver and then again in Tampa by Influence Digest. Recently ranked one of the top 10 business coaches for coaches to follow. That's a mouthful. Ranked one of the top 10 business coaches for coaches to follow in 2024 by Life Coach magazine. And ultimately, I'm the founder of the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, where we help corporate renegades ditch the 9-to-5, replace their six-figure corporate income, and repackage their genius into their dream coaching business. Now, the secret sauce in the way I teach, and I just tell you this because every business coach is going to have kind of a different way of teaching, a different approach. The way we help our clients replace their corporate income is a couple different ways. One, we focus on, instead of, you guys having to sell a massive quantity of coaching packages or services to hit your financial target, we help you build a high value, high ticket program. And I know high ticket is arbitrary, but the goal is, with each of my clients, is that we price you out so you can sell 1 to 2 coaching packages per month to hit your financial target of replacing your corporate income, versus what I see often, burning out, selling lower ticket items or digital courses, and you just go into burnout mode. So we are more about value, quality than quantity. Okay, so that's number one of our secret sauce. Number two is we teach corporate renegades turned coaches to do this, to hit their first 6 figures organically. So nothing against Facebook ads. I use them at this point in my journey, but I didn't start using them until I crossed over the 6-figure threshold. I mean, I think it wasn't until I had a 250K year that I started saying, okay, now I'm going to use ads. So we teach you how to hit your first 6 figures organically versus throwing money away on Facebook ads or complicated funnels. So that's my intro for the peeps I haven't met yet. Let's see here. Melissa, what's going on, Melissa? LCS, PCC, Avalon. Very cool, Melissa. Welcome. Santina, meeting the ICF criteria. That's cool. You're in the process with HCI, and Heather's a big HCI person, so very cool. Welcome, Santina. Gina, congrats. You just got your ACC through ICF. I love all the acronyms this morning, right? I hope you all have your acronym list. Very cool. Well, welcome all. All right, so let's get going real quick. Again, today's topic, how to build a coaching client list starting from zero. I want to tell you real quick, because I just mentioned it, the very important announcement. I haven't officially announced this yet live on camera with you guys. So this is for people who are looking to become coaches, right? Maybe they're already coaching. Maybe they're in a corporate job or a full-time job, but they're trying to get their coaching business started. This is for you, this free week-long workshop that we've created. It's new, totally new content. I've never run this workshop before. And the reason I'm doing this, one, I think the timing of it is going to make sense. So from a kind of security standpoint, to have that extra validation on your business while you're still in your corporate job, the timing makes sense. And also, this has been a hot request. So we're going to be doing a 3-step coaching client acquisition system workshop. It is for coaches who want to start finding and landing clients while they are still at their corporate job. So you're still at your corporate job or your 9-to-5 job, and you're like, I don't want to wait to get my first client until after I leave the job. I want to have some validation that this coaching business thing is going to work before I leave my job, which, by the way, is smart. That will set you up for a smooth corporate to coach transition later on. So I want to drop into the comments, and I also had dropped this. This should be in the copy attached. This should be in the copy attached to the Facebook Live, but I'm going to drop it into the comments. Register, can I spell register for the workshop here? So I'm dropping the link into the comments. Now's the time to register so you don't forget. Jolie, you're watching from the hospital. Oh, Jolie, big hugs watching from the hospital. I hope this brightens your day. Good morning, sending you tons of healing and anabolic energy. You are a rock star for joining us from the hospital, Jolie. Wow. Incredible. See, this is why I love working with coaches. So again, quick reminder here, because today's Facebook Live is going to carry over into the workshop. So this is kind of like step one. I'm giving you guys the overview. I'm giving you guys the steps, the what. And during the workshop, we're going to get really deep into mastering these steps, into the how, into the tools, etc. So during the workshop, again, if you haven't registered yet, I just dropped the registration link into the comments. Register now. You're going to be learning our simple 3-step client acquisition system. And it is a system. Please do not, do one of these things where your method of attracting clients is throwing spaghetti at the wall. This is a system we're going to be teaching you, and it's a system specific to coaches who are still in their corporate job or who are still in their 9-to-5, because we're teaching you how to implement the 3-step client acquisition system, one, without blowing your cover at your corporate job, because I know some of you just aren't able to come out, so to speak, yet. Two, we're teaching you how to attract clients pre-launch. So you don't even need a website at this point to get clients, right? We're teaching you how to start getting clients while at your corporate job without blowing your cover, pre-launch. You don't need a website yet. And really the idea here, okay, the why of this, like, well, why do I need to get clients while I'm still at my 9-to-5? To mitigate risk by creating enough coaching income to allow you to transition out of corporate when you're ready. We want to mitigate risk. We want to build up those funds. We want to ultimately pay for your business to run itself. And we want to validate the market, right? That the market that you're choosing makes sense. All right. So really important. During the workshop, I'll be teaching how to leverage your inner circle. So when I talk about your inner circle, we're going to talk about networking the right way. And I'm talking about a natural way, an authentic way, a service-driven way, right? So you're going to learn, and this is coming from an introvert here. Any fellow introverts with us this morning? I'm an INFJ to be specific. So networking was never really like, yay for me. But we're going to talk about how to leverage your inner circle. This is during the workshop to acquire your first set of clients, right? So you're going to learn things like networking, asking for referrals, etc. You're going to learn how market research mastery. What's market research mastery? It's when you're doing research to validate your coaching niche market, how mastering that is also going to lead you to client acquisition right away. You can, I hate the saying, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It's so intense, but kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to be researching, and as you're researching your niche to validate the market, you're also getting clients. They go hand in hand. I'm going to teach you what that looks like during the workshop. During the workshop, I'm going to teach you where to find your perfect prospects, because that's where a lot of people struggle. They're like, okay, but where do I find these people? Where do I start? Where are these people hiding? And it's different depending on your niche and what your focus is. We'll talk about that during the workshop. We'll talk about the art of turning a complimentary coaching call into a client during a workshop. And it is an art. I see a lot of coaches struggle. They're giving out all these complimentary coaching calls, but none of them are turning into clients. And that's because it really is an art of making that transition from a complimentary coaching call into a client. So we're going to talk about an easy way to do that. 5 mistakes coaches make that prevent them from replacing their corporate income with a coaching business. That's going to be a big topic. And I'm going to be inviting in some superstar corporate to coaches who have made the transition successfully. They're making back-to-back 10K months, 14K months, right? These are people who are doing the thing, right, that we're all looking to do. And I'm going to invite them in and interview them. I'm going to interview them. They're going to share their secrets. And it's, again, this is live. So I'm going to encourage you guys to ask these coaches questions too. The best thing to do with any goal you ever try to achieve is to surround yourself with other people who have achieved the thing you're trying to achieve. So that's why we're going to be doing that. So again, all that and more is going to be during the workshop. Alex, I'm so glad you think this is great. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Santina, great, a fellow introvert. Yay. Sending love to my fellow introvert. What else do I want to tell you? When is the workshop? Monday, May 13th, it begins. So get registered now so you can get all your resources. And it's going to go Monday through Friday. So Monday, May 13th through Friday, May 17th. And it's going to be in the evening hours after work. So once you register, you'll get all the times, the Zoom links, etc. But we are doing it after work, so you guys can make it. And then I'm also going over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and I'll do it in the morning Pacific time and afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So we'll do it kind of early on in the day over the weekend so you can get out and enjoy the weekend with your family. So again, saving your seat, you just need to register using the link in the comments. Once you register, there's going to be some instructions. It'll say, thank you for registering. Here's what's next. And make sure you follow those instructions so that you'll be one of the first to receive the free workbook that will be guiding you through that workshop. So again, had to give you guys that announcement today. It's the first time I've said this live. I'm very excited about this topic. It's a very important topic going into the second half of 2024. It's a very important topic for everybody to master. A lot of the concepts we talk about today in today's Facebook Live, okay, are going to be setting you up so that during the workshop, you'll be able to say, oh yeah, I remember Betty talked about those topics. And during the workshop, we'll take them to a much deeper level so you can implement right away, right? During the workshop, we'll get into the scripts, the templates, the workbook, all the tools that you need. So today is kind of your springboard. Last quick thing that has to do with the workshop here. And again, take a look at the copy attached to the Facebook Live, and I'm grabbing the link here too. After you have registered for the workshop, and this is important, after you have registered for the workshop, so I'm going to drop this into the chat. This is the last thing I'm going to drop into the chat, but this is all very important information. After you've registered for the workshop, all registered, can't wait, yay, Jolie. After you've registered for the workshop, I just dropped this into the chat. Like I said, Heather Copey, you guys see her in the chat bouncing around. She is the guidance coach for the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group. So once you register, okay, very important, the second step is you need to set up a complimentary prep call with Heather, okay? Why? Because Heather is going to make sure that you have everything you need to be ready for the workshop. It's really important to us that once you attend day one of the workshop, you're ready, you can hit the ground running. So that's going to be a prep call with Heather. It's short. It's going to be short and sweet. There is a link I just dropped for you to schedule that call with Heather. Okay, she is going to make sure that also, depending on, she's going to customize the workshop experience for you. So depending on what you need, where you're at in your journey, she's even going to be able to flip you some free training from our training vault, depending on where you're currently at in your journey. So that's very important too. It's going to set you up so that day one you can hit the ground running. So link to schedule with Heather's in the chat. All right, let's get started. So we're going to get into it today, how to build a coaching list, client list starting from zero. I know that, and this is what I heard from, I think it was Anna, right? Anna, I don't know if Anna's here with us today. Hopefully she attends our replay, because this is for you, Anna. It was a great request for a topic. let's see, let me just get all this crazy stuff out of my way here. Cancel. Facebook Live is wild sometimes. Great request from Anna on this topic, but she was talking about, this idea, which I think a lot of you share, and raise your virtual hand if this sounds familiar. Does the thought of cold messaging or cold calling, does that kind of give you the heebie-jeebies, right? Does that kind of give you the heebie-jeebies, or make you feel weak in the knees, but not in a good way, right? In an ick kind of way? Anybody kind of feeling that? And you're like, oh, do I really have to be cold calling and cold messaging to have a coaching business? Anybody feeling that vibe? Yuck, Jolie says, yeah. See, that's something that I hear all the time, and I'm just checking my mobile device here too. Hey, Jenny, thanks for joining us. Ann, what's going on, Ann? Thanks for popping in, my friend. Lisa, we got a former Academy member joining us, a superstar. What's going on, Lisa? Sending you big hugs. All right, so yeah, cold calling. Who wants to do that, right? Nightmare, not fun for anybody involved. Yet, I know for a lot of you, you know that in order to run a successful coaching business, you got to find a way to attract, find, outreach, and ultimately sign clients, right? There's a method, you got to select one, and you've got to implement it, right? So that's the push-pull here. Some of the questions I've heard around this topic include things like, how do you find, attract, outreach, and sign clients? How? What does that process look like? I also hear questions like, hey, Betty, how are prospects responding the best when it comes to client outreach or attraction, right? Because we have our ears on the ground, right? We're kind of seeing what works, what doesn't work in terms of outreach, in terms of messaging people, right? What's been working, what's not working, what are prospects responding to in a positive way, right? People are wondering the trends, right? What's currently working. Next, how do you find a system that works? How do you find a system that works? Because you're gonna see there's a lot of different systems out there. So in this case, the question I hear a lot, how do you find a system that works regardless of the state of the economy at the moment, right? A lot of times, depending on what's going on in the world or the economy, people will pivot what they're doing, and sometimes that makes sense. But there are certain foundational methods that will work regardless of what's going on out there in the world. And bottom line, people want to know, I'm starting from scratch. What's the first couple steps I take to build a client list starting from zero? So I want to be covering those answers for you guys. We'll be diving deep into that, like I said, in the workshop, and we're going to be talking about some of those topics today. All right, specifically today, before we get off today's training, I want to cover one, and I'm clock checking here, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so should wrap up within 15, 20 minutes, something like that, for those of you trying to kind of time out your day here. Trying to keep these sessions under an hour so that you guys can schedule appropriately. In this training today, I want to talk about four things. One, the client attraction methods that work versus the ones that do not work. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Two, I want to talk about the client attraction methods to use when you're just getting started, you don't have a strong online presence or a client list yet. Three, I want to talk about the secret to attracting clients that is often skipped over. People skip over it, and then that ends up kind of self-sabotaging in the long run when it comes to outreach or building your business in general, right? So this is something that if you skip over it, it's actually going to hurt your outreach. And lastly, I want to talk about end today's Facebook Live with the ultimate free resource to use to attract clients while you're still at your corporate job, and to start attracting clients right away, right? This isn't something you're going to be like, oh yeah, in the future, I'm going to use this. It's a resource you can start using and implementing now, and you should start using and implementing now. So those are the four topics for today. As usual, I hate to be a talking head, talking to my cats in the office here. So please, the reason I go live instead of, I could just, post these as recordings. The reason I go live is so that I'm here to answer your questions. So please, if you have a question, ask it, and I'm happy to answer your question. And of course, if you couldn't make the live and you're watching the replay, that's fine too. Give me a hashtag live, by the way, if you're here live, so I can kind of decipher as I'm answering questions who's live. Give me a hashtag live if you're live. If you're watching the replay later on, give me a hashtag replay. And it's fine whether you're live or replay to ask us questions. Tag me, and if you can, tag Heather Copey, so that we get the alert and we can make sure everybody's questions get answered. Okay. So again, just checking my mobile device one more time. Anna, thank you for joining us. Jenny, thank you for joining us. Okay, let's dive in. All right, take out your typing fingers or your whatever you use to take notes. Linda, hey Linda. Linda's with us live. Linda's a warrior here with our group. Thanks, Linda, for joining us live. Topic number one. What's up, Cheryl? Cheryl's here with us live. The client attraction methods that work versus the ones that do not work. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to get straight into it. And please, if you have a question that comes to your head, put it in the chat. Okay, let's make this a two-way dialogue. And by the way, I saw some crazy statistic about, gosh, I'm going to grab that statistic for the next Facebook Live I do, but some crazy statistic about something like if you engage in a training, if you actually engage, your level of absorption of the material skyrockets. And I can't remember, there was a percentage, like you absorb X percentage more when you actually engage versus when you're just a fly in the wall, the amount of material that you'll absorb. So it was, I'll have to bring that stat to the next call. And I just say that to say, ask me questions, right? If something comes up for you, that's what this is for. So the client attraction methods that don't work, let's get into it. And this is just a sample, right? There's many more, but this is a sample. Client attraction methods that don't work. Number one, write this down. Just posting on social media and crossing your fingers, right? So sometimes I hear a coach say, well, Betty, what the heck? I'm posting on social media every day. Where are all the clients? Nobody's booking discovery calls, right? And here's the thing. I love me some social media. I know not everybody does. I'm wild. I mean, that's why I'm a business coach. That's my thing. My MO is marketing. I love marketing. I love business, right? That's my thing. So social media, yes, love, thumbs up, but I'm talking to you guys about systems, not throwing spaghetti at the wall. So social media posting, yes, we want to do that at a certain point in order to attract clients. However, it's not enough. It's not enough. So for those of you feeling frustrated, I hope that's good news. Oh man, I don't know, I'm posting 5 days a week and where are all the clients? Nobody's engaging with my post or nobody's booking calls with me. I hope you know that's a good thing, because you got to do more. That's not enough, right? That's only a piece of the puzzle. And when you're still at corporate, again, I want to recognize some of you have your hands tied. Some of you can't post on social media or you'll blow your cover. So like I said, part of what we'll be covering during the workshop are ways to attract clients while still at the corporate job without blowing your cover. So do you want to post on social media at a certain point? Of course, right? But you can't just do that and rely on that as the only method for attracting clients. Julie, I've heard that executive and leadership coaching is where to make 6 figures and that other niches are part-time income at best. This is a good question, Jolie. My niche is Christian marriage. I love that. And parenting is a focus, but we'll do general life coaching as well. Do you find this to be true? Such a good question. And yeah, I've heard that as well. And I will tell you the answer honestly is no. The answer is no. It's not the case. And let me be very transparent and authentic as to why I believe that to be so. A couple things. This is the bottom line. whether you're an executive coach or a leadership coach. Now, do executive coaches on average typically charge a higher hourly rate, even though we're not, you and I know we're not supposed to be charging an hourly rate, but you know, when it comes to putting together their package, yeah, executive coaches, because it's B2B usually. There's a business with a big budget paying for that. But here's the bottom line. Bottom line, we're just talking about human psychology. When you choose a niche, you need to be choosing an urgent problem to solve that is keeping your target market up at night. And you need to be messaging that in a way that resonates. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I'll give you an example. I've had many clients who are not leadership or executive coaches. I had a relationship coach, spiritual coach. The relationship coach, you guys can actually go to my website, bettykempa.com, go to my praise testimonial page. There's a testimonial from her and a screenshot from her. She actually attended a workshop, just like many of you are about to. And she, like I said, she's a relationship coach, but she uses spirituality to help people improve their relationships. Okay, so really kind of cool, interesting mix. She had a $13,500 month after doing the workshop and then joining our academy. So by no means is it like, oh, only those niches will make the money. Right? I was a career coach and I was having back-to-back six-figure years. You know, I was making more in my career coaching job than I was in my corporate job. So bottom line is this, it's not about the niche, it's about, am I messaging my niche in a way that's landing with my target market so they get it, one. Am I focused on solving an urgent problem that is keeping my people up at night that they do anything to help have solved? Two, and am I matching up the who, the target market, the right who with the right problem? Those two things have to be married, right? We don't want to convince, and this is where I want to leave it for now. If you are having to convince your audience that they need a coach, you've either got the wrong audience or the wrong problem you're focusing on. Nobody here should be convincing their target market, oh, you need a coach in this topic. These should be people that are already looking for help. So bottom line, really good question, Jolie. If your I help who with what statement is focused on an urgent problem that you know, Christian couples, married parents, an urgent problem that's keeping them up at night, if it's focused on that, they'd pay anything to have help solved. There's no limit. There's no limit to how much you could bring in, as long as you're following the systems, as long as you've got the right systems and structure in place. So I hope that was helpful, Jolie, and we can get into that more during the workshop in my rapid fire Q&A day. I'm happy to dive into that with you too. And Heather here, and read Heather's comment. Heather's got some good info here. There's actually a good training on that, Jolie. I did a training. I think I called it which something like which niches bring in the most income or something like that. Heather, if you found that, could you share that with Jolie? And if not, let's search for it and get it to Jolie. And if anybody, Jolie, maybe I'm saying your name wrong because I had a client and I pronounced it Jolie. Maybe it's Jolie. I pronounce it on the O. I'm saying Jolie because of my old client. But if anyone else wants that training, which niche brings in the most money, and we kind of do a breakdown, put that in the chat. Just say niche training. And we'll find that training, and Heather will, but you got to check your DMs. Heather will, you know, DM you, or even better, Heather's going to probably ask, DM Heather and say, hey, niche training. I want the niche training, which talks about which niches bring in the most money. All right, good question. Okay, so back to methods that do not work. I'm going to call it cold icky, sticky outreach, right? Cold, icky, sticky outreach. I'm curious. We've got some people viewing with us today live. Put into the chat, and even if you're watching a replay, put it into the chat. Give me some examples, you guys. Some examples of people DMing you, sending you some kind of an outreach that didn't work on you, that turned you off, that made you recoil, right? Give me some examples. What was it about the outreach that you received that was a turnoff? Drop it into the chat. What have you guys been seeing out there that isn't working on you, right? I mean, we're seeing it. I'm getting my DM, my inbox filled with the wrong kind of outreach. What are you guys seeing out there that's like, ugh, please tell me I don't have to do that to run a business? It's Jolie, not pronounced Jolie. I have the sound off so I can't hear how you're saying it. Okay, that's probably for the best then. So it's Jolie, pronounced not. Okay, so I think the emphasis is on Jolie. Hopefully I got that right. Santina, sometimes it feels patronizing, and not actually related. Yeah, exactly. And so let's talk about that for a second. When I say cold, icky, sticky outreach, right? I'm talking about outreach that sometimes goes straight into let's book a call, right? You're like, that's like somebody proposing to you and you haven't even had a first date yet. You're like, take me out to dinner first, right? So outreach that goes straight into let's book a call. They don't know you. They don't know your challenges. They don't know your goals yet. And they're making assumptions. To Santina's point, right? It's patronizing. They're making assumptions on what your challenges are. Very patronizing. Absolutely. Jolie says, random people sending me DMs with guarantees. Oh, red flag, red flag, red flag. Anybody doing these guarantees, you can't. Coaches shouldn't be guaranteeing from an ethical standpoint, right? Because it's not just on us as the coach, it's also on our clients, right? We can show like, hey, look, these are our clients that have had success, and these are the things about my clients. These are the things about my clients that have helped them to achieve that success. But guarantees are a red flag. Run the other way. Jolie being pushy, trying to sound genuinely interested in my practice, and then going straight into trying to sell you a package. Yeah, it's fake, inauthentic, right? There's a difference between that kind of a message in your inbox and the kind of message in your inbox that you can tell as a human being that woke up and said, what can I do to serve today? Right? Think about that, you guys, for a second. There's a difference between the person that messages you in your inbox, pushy, aggressive, inauthentic, fake, versus somebody that wakes up in the morning and says, how can I serve? How can I build relationships? How can I be of service? Absolutely. Great examples here. Melissa, oh my gosh. Hey, I hear you have cancer. Are you serious? You can cure it with my juice. Wow. I am so offended by that. I cannot even tell you. If somebody messaged me that, Melissa, I really don't know what I'd do. I am so sorry you had to ever see a message like that. And so, bottom line, we here are going to change the industry when it comes to connecting to other humans, building relationships, right? Because everything you guys are mentioning are giving me the heebie-jeebies, nightmare. But the beauty of this is we know what not to do, and we're going to do the opposite, right? Last but not least, automated methods, which for a while were okay. There was a time, and I've tried everything, right? I've tried automated before, and it was kind of a mix of automation, and then once somebody would respond, you jump in and talk to them. But that method isn't cutting it anymore either, right? Trust has been eroded in the market. It has. Trust has been eroded in the market. So the bottom line is this: relationship building is pivotal. Relationship building is pivotal. Relationship building is a skill. Relationship building is a skill that you need to learn how to do, right? So let's talk about what works. Let's talk about what works. You guys have talked about the niche. You guys talked about the niche, knowing your specific niche, your target market, your who that you serve, and the problem that you solve for them, so that you aren't just outreaching to anyone, right? That works. When you send a message over social media, let's say I send you a message on LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, you should be able to understand, why am I, this random person, connecting to you? And when you're very general, like I help everybody with everything, it's hard for the other party to understand, why are you messaging me? When you're very specific with who you build your network with, who you help, and the urgent problem you solve, then it becomes apparent, oh, I get what our connection is here, right? So that's what works. That's number one, is knowing your specific niche. So, because think about it, when someone outreaches to you, you're wondering, why me? Am I just one of 1,000 people on your list? Why me, right? So that's number one. Number two, what works? Customizing your outreach. Does that take time? Yes, it does. Is that time worth it? Yes, it is. Customizing your outreach. And we're going to talk about in the workshop coming up, what does customizing your outreach look like? What does that look like? You know, high level, I'll say things like looking at their profile, right? What is it about their profile that you have in common? And when I say customizing your outreach, it's not, you know, nothing slimy like, Melissa, I can't get over, that's going to give me nightmares, right? What you said, that strikes a chord with me in a very bad way. But customizing your outreach in an authentic way, the way that you would if you were at a networking event and you were up at the bar getting a Diet Coke or whatever, and somebody else came up and you looked over to say hello, what might you say to them, right? Something that comes from the heart, something that's authentic. How would you're not going to be a robot and say the same thing to every person you meet at a networking event, right? You got to think about it as if you're in person with these people. So we'll talk about that more during the workshop, customizing your outreach in an authentic way, not in a fake, icky, sticky way. Most of all, bottom line, what works is learning how to build relationships over outreach. When I talk about outreach, I'm talking about messaging people on Facebook, DM, Instagram, whatever the platform is. But what works is learning how to build relationships. It's about the journey, not just the outcome. It's about building relationships. It's about earning the right to ask somebody to book a discovery call. That's not the first message you send, right? Hey, hop on a call. That should never be the first message you send, right? Hop on a sales call. You have to earn the right to ask somebody to book a discovery call. You have to build reciprocity. Put something in the reciprocity bank. What does that mean? It means providing value, right? What am I doing today on this Facebook Live for free? Providing value, right? Every day I wake up, I try to think about, what can I do to serve? What can I do to serve my clients? And what can I do to serve the 3,000 plus coaches in my Facebook group, right? Providing value. Very, very important. That's how you earn the right to ask to book a discovery call. Building the relationship before you get to the ask. And here's one last thing I'll say about what works. This is important, and this is something that not a lot of coaches think about until it's too late. You need to know when it's time to ask for the discovery call, because you start relationship building and it's like, yeah, I'm getting to know this person and it's great and we're going and you learn what their challenge is, and then you're like, wow, you know, I could help this person, this is my niche, etc. You've been talking for over a month. There comes a time when you're actually doing them a disservice by keeping to yourself this amazing coaching solution that you have, right? So you need to learn when is the time to pivot to like, hey, we've been talking for this long. I actually think you'd be perfect for this, right? Dana, what's up? Thanks for jumping in while you get ready for work. I want to read a couple more comments. Dana says, as an author, it's way easier to connect with readers and sell my book than selling myself as an expert to others. As an author, it's way easier to connect with readers and sell my book than selling myself as an expert to others. Yeah, that's a great point too. And again, you're connecting to people who what they're looking for, right? They consider themselves readers. What they're looking for is something you have. You're an author, right? So it's the perfect match. I love that, Dana. I'm just scrolling up to make sure I see all the comments here. Gina, I keep going to trainings to salespeople stuck in teaching us calling, but I feel like we've moved more of messaging through social media. Yeah, I agree, Gina. That's interesting that you keep going to trainings with salespeople stuck in teaching us calling. And here's what I would say bottom line, and we'll get more into this during the workshop. Bottom line is this. You want to connect to each of your ideal client avatars in the way that works for them, quite frankly. So I would recommend starting with one social media platform where your ideal client avatars hang out. I would start there before you're like Twitter, YouTube, blah, 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 blah. You drive yourself crazy. So I'd start with one platform where the majority of your ideal client avatars hang out, right? Messaging is a wonderful thing that works if you do it the right way. There's ways to take your messaging to the next level. So there are different levels of connecting to people. You could send a DM, and that's great. There's no, like, I don't believe, a call is way better than a DM. I think it's what works for them. So that's something you have to kind of find out. It's even okay, Gina, to ask the person you're talking to, hey, how would you like to stay connected? What's the best way for us to stay connected? Right? It's okay. And then put that in your tracker sheet. Another way, so you can DM people. You can send them an audio. I call it a love note. I'll send people an audio over Facebook DM, LinkedIn DM. Say, hey, Gina, what's up? Da, 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 whatever. Send them an audio. You could send somebody a customized video. So I teach my clients to use a platform. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Dubb, D as in dog, U, B, B, B as in boy. And it's a way to send customized videos. So I could send you a video, Gina, of me right here, like, hey, Gina, what's up? Thanks for attending my XYZ training. Hey, I wanted to throw you over this resource that'll help you with the training. Let me know what you think, right? So we can DM people. We can send them an audio. We can send them a video. I use text messaging for those of you who get, if you text me to get the workbook for the upcoming training, we send you reminders of when our workshop is. So you have the Zoom link. So you can use text marketing. That's a big one now, text marketing. And then, yeah, lastly, there's phone calls. You could text, you could phone call, you could call somebody on the phone. But I think the bottom line is this. I would ask them. I would first build the relationship via the DMs. That's how I would start. And then I'd ask them how they'd like to stay in touch. And it's okay to hit, like, let's say I'm DMing, and the person, it's like a wall, right? There's like nothing happening. I would try to figure out, okay, where are they more active? Is there a different platform? If I call and leave a message, does that work better? Should I try audio? So it's about testing, and every human is different. Some people are going to hate a call. Some people are going to be cool with a call. But for me, I would say start with DMing. Let's just start there before we just cold call like telemarketers. That's my personal thing. And yeah, Gina, the audio and video thing we teach in the academy. Dana, let's see. I could do that, but steampunk, fantasy, and transformational coaching have different audiences. You are so funny. And I will be totally honest, I have no idea what steampunk fantasy is. We'll have to send you an audio outside of this training. I love it, Dana, so much. And I'm interested in knowing more about some of the things you've been writing too, Dana. Very interested. All right. So I hope that answered your question, Gina. And Heather says, many coaches are using their book as part of their sales funnel. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a whole nother training, but a book is, and again, when, Dana, you know this more than most, but when you write a book, you're deciding why you're writing that book, what you want your purpose to be of writing that book. But yeah, a lot of coaches out there are writing books, shorter books, to use as a lead magnet. And within the book, you guys ever read a book where it'll give you all these links? Hey, click this, go to the computer and go to this link to download a free whatever tool. That's how they're moving you through the sales funnel of buy the book. Now you go to the link that the book keeps mentioning to download some kind of tool. And now you're on their email list. The email list tries to get you to book a discovery call. So yeah, a lot of coaches will use a book as part of a sales funnel, which is another good strategy. Okay, what else do I want to tell you guys before we hop off the call today? Client attraction methods to use when you're just getting started and you do not have a strong online presence or client list yet. You're like, yo, I'm starting from zero, right? So this topic right here, client attraction methods to use when you're just getting started, you don't have a strong online presence or client list yet, you're starting from zero. This is everything I'm going to be teaching you during the free week-long workshop, the 3-step client acquisition system. Okay, we're going to be deep diving into this. The good news is I'm going to be teaching you ways to do this, client attraction methods to use when you're just getting started, you don't have a strong online presence or client list yet. And I think this is the main thing I want to tell you. The workshop, we're going to be focused on how to do this without feeling slimy or inauthentic. Nobody here is building a coaching business to feel slimy or inauthentic. So that's number one. We're going to be teaching you ways to do this by connecting to people that currently know, like, and trust you. Again, in an authentic way, coming from a place of service. We're going to be teaching you how to do this by learning the art of getting referrals, and there is an art to it. And if you do this the right way, you will be getting many referrals from people that already know, like, and trust you. But I promise you, there's a right way to kind of request those types of referrals, and there's a way that ain't going to work. So we're going to get into that in the workshop. We're going to talk about how to leverage the market research that you will already be doing for your business. So when it comes to choosing a niche, when it comes to creating the messaging around your I help who with what statement, you need to do market research. The cool thing is there's a way to combine the market research you're doing on your niche, which you have to do anyways, with getting new clients. Again, this is before you've launched. This is while you're still at your corporate job. This is without a website, okay? And lastly, turning a complimentary coaching call into a client. I hear a lot of times coaches saying, hey, I want to get practice or I need to get hours, for doing complimentary coaching calls, or I want to get a testimonial, and that's all great. But there are ways to turn a complimentary coaching call into a client. So we're going to talk about that. Each of these can be a struggle for people when they don't understand the how. Because I'm telling you the what. During the workshop, we'll be getting into the how. Each of these things I'm telling you can be a struggle if you don't understand the intricacies of the how. Sometimes when you're doing outreach or you're connecting to your network or you're looking for referrals or all the things that, in the beginning before you have a list and you're starting from zero, sometimes, right, I'll have a client come to me and say, hey, I've been doing XYZ. I haven't seen results yet. I'll say, let me see what your script is. Let me see what you're using. Sometimes I can tweak. It's the smallest word that we tweak or change, or it's a script that we flip that will flip your results upside down in a good way. Sometimes it's the smallest lever you need to pull. So again, I come from a background of corporate communications, copy, messaging. So I can't emphasize enough when it comes to building relationships over DMs or messaging people, it can be the smallest way of wording things that can make the difference, right? So we're going to be talking about that during the workshop. And I'll be doing live hot seat coaching with you so we can talk about how to customize your outreach to your situation, to your niche, to your network, to your style. Okay, that's why we're doing it live. Remember, what we'll be teaching during the workshop, it's not just your typical, get clients. It's a specific workshop for people that are still in their corporate job or still in their 9-to-5. And we're helping you to do this to get, not just get clients, but to implement a 3-step client acquisition system. Just starting out, your list can be at 0 at this point. No cold outreach is required. When I say no cold outreach is required, what I mean is you're not going to be in someone's inbox like, hey, want to book a call? That's not how it works. Okay. You don't need a website yet. And there's ways to do this without blowing your cover at your current corporate job, because I know some of you just can't do that yet. But it doesn't mean you can't work with clients yet. So again, for those of you who just hopped on, make sure you register for the workshop in the link with the copy next to this video, or check the comments. The secret to attracting clients, I want to share this before we hop off. The secret to attracting clients that is often skipped over and ends up doing damage in the long run. And we ended up talking about this throughout this whole Facebook Live today, but it's getting clear on your niche. It's getting clear on your niche. It's so much easier to outreach to clients, to attract clients and prospects when both you and the prospect know who is your target market and what is the urgent problem you're solving for them. Okay, it's so much easier. I promise you. If you were to go to LinkedIn right now as a life coach, like, yeah, I help everybody with anything. Woo! Do you know how challenging that would be? Because you're just reaching out to anybody. And then you send them a message and they're like, well, why are you reaching out to me? Why me? There's millions of people on LinkedIn. Like, what? You solve any problem for any person. Why'd you reach out to me? It becomes very awkward. I promise you. So that's the one thing you don't want to skip over. During the free workshop, like I said, I'll be doing a rapid fire Q&A day where, if you're having niche problems, bring it to the table. And on rapid fire Q&A day, I'll help you. I'll help you get clear on that. Now, just to be clear, without a niche, can you still get clients in the beginning? Yeah, you can get clients in the beginning without a niche, but it will make life so much easier for you and for your network to be able to refer you. When you're telling your network, hey, I'm doing this coaching thing and da-da-da-da-da, and do you know anybody like this? I'm telling you, they're going to struggle to refer you unless they understand your niche. Okay, so you'll learn all about that. Last but not least, the ultimate free resource to use to attract clients while still in your corporate job, it's the workshop. Today was the precursor to the upcoming workshop. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into creating this totally new content. It's what you guys have been asking for. The purpose of this, why do we need to get clients while we're still at our corporate job? It's to set you up for success so that by the time you transition out of corporate, you should already be having consecutive 10K plus months, right? You should already have validated the market. So again, I'm going to just drop one last time. There's 2 steps you need to take. One is to register for the workshop. I put that in the chat. The other is to schedule a complimentary prep call with Heather. And let me be clear, it is not a sales call. It is not a sales call. This is a quick prep call with Heather so she can figure out, again, we're customizing this workshop to each of you. She wants to know your niche, your goals, your challenges, and potentially, depending on what you've got going on, she can flip you over some free training that is relevant to you prior to the workshop so that you come to the workshop prepared. Okay, very important. All right, guys, so there you have it. How to build a coaching client list starting from 0. Buckle up for the workshop May 13th, where we'll be going 10 times deeper into these topics that we covered today and much more. and much more. I'll be providing resources, tools, scripts, workbooks, and of course, live coaching every single day. Again, I could record all of this and just say, here, here's a recorded evergreen. I purposely take the time to go live because I want to see your questions. I want to interact with you. There's going to be an opportunity to come on Zoom if you want to come off mute and talk to me face to face. I want to be able to coach you so that you leave the workshop feeling locked and loaded with immediately being able to implement getting clients while still at your corporate job. So drop me a comment below. Let me know. I'd love to hear your takeaway from today's session. I'd love to hear, if you haven't already shared, who is attending the workshop. Have a wonderful week. I will be doing one more Facebook Live before the workshop. So I will see you guys next week. We're going to be, today is Wednesday. I had to reschedule this week. Our Facebook Live is usually Tuesday. So next week, I'll see you back to our regular schedule, Tuesday, next week, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then that will be the last Facebook Live before we get into the workshop. Side note, if you have any specific topic request for our last Facebook Live before the workshop, drop them into the chat or drop them into the Facebook group because we keep a list of your topic requests, all right? All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Life is good. Talk to you guys soon.